Have you ever felt that your kindness is being mistaken for weakness? Stop being soft too. Everyone is a wake-up call to redefine boundaries and reclaim your power, showing that true strength comes from knowing when to say no. Guarding the heart is a practice that involves deep self-awareness and an unwavering commitment to protecting the essence of who we are, our core values, thoughts, emotions, and spiritual identity. This principle is not about building walls to shut out the world, but rather about cultivating wisdom to discern what nourishes us versus what depletes us. At its core, guarding the heart means choosing positivity, allowing hope, love, and faith to guide our decisions, and being intentional about what we let influence our inner world. The Bible speaks to this in Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. This verse reminds us that the heart, symbolizing the seat of our emotions and thoughts, serves as the foundation for every action and decision we make. Protecting this vital part of ourselves is not optional. It is essential for living with peace, clarity, and strength. By guarding our hearts, we are choosing to honor the unique qualities that define us, preserving the essence of our being from negativity, doubt, or harmful influences. To guard the heart effectively, one must first cultivate self-awareness. This involves taking the time to reflect on our inner thoughts and emotions, understanding what motivates us and what affects our state of mind. It's about recognizing patterns, both positive and negative, and identifying the triggers that can lead us to feelings of anxiety, fear, or discouragement. Self-awareness is not about dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, but staying present with our inner selves to ensure our thoughts and actions align with our deepest values. Positivity plays a crucial role in this process, but it is not just about maintaining a cheerful disposition. True positivity is rooted in a deliberate choice to focus on what uplifts and strengthens us. It means surrounding ourselves with people who encourage our growth, engaging in activities that bring joy and purpose, and deliberately replacing negative thoughts with affirming ones. When we choose positivity, we create a protective shield around our hearts, allowing us to navigate challenges without becoming overwhelmed or defeated. Equally important is the practice of mindfulness, which helps us remain attuned to the present moment. Our thoughts are powerful. They shape our emotions, influence our behavior, and ultimately determine the course of our lives. Negative or harmful thoughts often creep in unnoticed, but mindfulness allows us to catch these thoughts early and redirect them. This is not about denying difficult emotions, but rather acknowledging them without letting them control us. By gently guiding our thoughts toward those that align with hope, love, and faith, we maintain a sense of clarity and purpose, even in the face of adversity. Guarding the heart also means setting boundaries, a concept that is both simple and profound. Boundaries are not about keeping others out, but about defining the space in which we can thrive. They help us preserve our energy, maintain our focus, and ensure that our kindness and compassion are not taken for granted. Healthy boundaries empower us to say no when necessary, to step away from situations that drain us, and to prioritize our well-being without guilt or hesitation. By setting boundaries, we teach others how to treat us, fostering relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. Relationships play a pivotal role in guarding the heart, as the people we surround ourselves with significantly impact our emotional and spiritual health. Trusted friends and family members can provide support, encouragement, and wisdom, while unhealthy or toxic relationships can leave us feeling drained, confused, or disconnected from our values. Being intentional about who we allow into our inner circle is an act of self-respect and a key part of protecting our hearts. When we choose relationships that uplift and inspire us, we create an environment that nurtures growth and resilience. This journey of guarding the heart is deeply personal, and it requires continuous effort. There will be days when we feel fully aligned with our values and others when we struggle to maintain balance. The key is to approach this process with patience and compassion, understanding that it is not about perfection but about progress. Each small step toward greater self-awareness, positivity, and intentionality strengthens our ability to guard our hearts and live authentically. Taking time to rest and recharge is another essential aspect of protecting the heart. Rest allows us to step away from the noise of daily life and reconnect with ourselves and our purpose. Whether through prayer, meditation, solitude, or creative pursuits, moments of rest provide the space needed to reflect, heal, and refocus. These moments are not just a luxury, but a necessity, as they help us maintain the clarity and energy required to guard our hearts effectively. Guarding the heart is about living with intention and purpose. When we know what truly matters to us, we are less likely to be swayed by distractions or negativity. This clarity gives us the strength to make decisions that align with our values, even when faced with challenges or temptations. Guarding the heart is not a one-time act, but a lifelong commitment to nurturing the essence of who we are and ensuring that everything we do flows from a place of love, peace, and integrity. It is a practice that allows us to live fully and courageously, grounded in the wisdom and strength that come from within. Setting boundaries is a crucial aspect of safeguarding our well-being and fostering relationships built on respect and mutual understanding. Boundaries are not about creating barriers or excluding others. Instead, they define the space where we can thrive emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. They are an expression of self-respect, signaling to ourselves and others what we value and what we will not compromise. Healthy boundaries create an environment in which kindness can flourish without leading to exhaustion, resentment, or feelings of being taken for granted. Establishing these limits is an act of self-love, allowing us to give freely while protecting our inner peace. When we set boundaries, we are making a conscious decision to prioritize our well-being without guilt or hesitation. This involves recognizing our limits, both emotional and physical, and communicating them clearly and respectfully to others. Boundaries empower us to say no when necessary, to step back from situations that drain us, and to preserve our energy for what truly matters. Far from being selfish, boundaries are a way of ensuring that we remain present and fully available for the people and commitments that align with our values. They help us maintain balance and clarity, enabling us to approach life with a sense of purpose and calm. The process of setting boundaries begins with self-awareness. It requires us to understand our own needs, triggers, and capacities. This self-awareness helps us identify situations, relationships, or behaviors that may undermine our well-being. By reflecting on what brings us peace and what causes us stress or discomfort, we gain the insight needed to establish healthy limits. Self-awareness also involves acknowledging our worth and recognizing that we have the right to protect our time, energy, and emotional space. This recognition forms the foundation for setting boundaries that honor our values and support our overall health. Clear communication is essential when setting boundaries. It is not enough to know our limits internally. We must also express them openly and confidently. This can be challenging, especially if we fear conflict or rejection, but it is a necessary step in teaching others how to respect us. When we communicate our boundaries, we do so not to push others away, but to foster relationships built on understanding and mutual respect. By clearly stating our needs and expectations, we create an opportunity for open dialogue and collaboration, allowing both parties to feel valued and heard. Effective communication ensures that boundaries are not perceived as rigid or punitive, but as a way to nurture healthier and more meaningful connections. In relationships, boundaries play a vital role in creating trust and stability. They help define the roles and expectations within a relationship, ensuring that both parties feel respected and valued. Boundaries prevent misunderstandings and conflicts by providing clarity about what is acceptable and what is not. They also create a sense of safety as each person knows that their needs and limits will be honored. In this way, boundaries strengthen the foundation of relationships, allowing them to grow in a healthy and positive direction. One of the challenges of setting boundaries is overcoming the fear of disappointing others. Many people struggle with guilt or worry about being perceived as unkind when they enforce their limits. However, it is important to remember that boundaries are not about rejecting others, but about respecting ourselves. When we set boundaries with love and compassion, we show others that we value our well-being and encourage them to do the same. This can lead to deeper and more authentic connections, as both parties feel free to express their needs and concerns openly. By releasing the guilt and embracing the importance of boundaries, we empower ourselves to live authentically and build relationships that are both fulfilling and respectful. Boundaries also protect us from toxic influences and unhealthy dynamics. In some cases, relationships or situations may undermine our sense of self-worth or drain our energy. Setting boundaries helps us recognize and address these negative influences, creating space for healing and growth. It allows us to distance ourselves from behaviors or individuals that do not align with our values, preserving our emotional and mental health. By establishing clear limits, we create an environment where positivity and resilience can flourish, enabling us to focus on what truly matters. Setting boundaries is about creating a life that reflects our values and priorities. It is a way of ensuring that we remain true to ourselves while fostering relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. Boundaries allow us to give and receive love in a way that is healthy and sustainable, protecting our energy and preserving our inner peace. By embracing the practice of setting boundaries, we cultivate a sense of self-respect and resilience that enables us to live fully and authentically, grounded in the knowledge that our well-being is worth protecting. Discernment in giving is a profound expression of love and wisdom, an intentional practice that goes beyond the simple act of generosity. To give thoughtfully is to align our actions with our personal values, ensuring that our kindness serves a meaningful purpose and contributes positively to the lives of others. True discernment in giving recognizes that while the act of giving is inherently virtuous, it must also be guided by understanding, intention, and balance. This principle ensures that our generosity empowers others rather than enabling dependency or perpetuating harmful patterns. At its heart, discernment in giving begins with self-awareness. It calls for a deep understanding of our motivations for giving, asking us to examine whether our actions stem from genuine care or from a desire to gain approval, avoid conflict, or fulfill an obligation. When we give out of obligation, the act often loses its authenticity and we risk feeling resentful or drained. Conversely, giving with intention allows us to focus on the needs of others while staying true to our own values. This thoughtful approach ensures that our generosity is both meaningful and fulfilling, creating a sense of connection and purpose. Equally important is the ability to assess the true needs of the recipient. Discernment helps us understand that not all forms of giving are beneficial, and that sometimes withholding support can be an act of compassion. For example, offering unsolicited advice or providing resources without considering the recipient's readiness to accept them can create tension or dependency. Thoughtful giving, on the other hand, is about understanding what is truly needed and ensuring that our support empowers the other person to grow and thrive. It requires us to listen attentively, observe carefully, and act with empathy, ensuring that our gifts address the root of the need rather than merely its surface. Setting boundaries is a critical aspect of discernment in giving. Generosity without limits can lead to exhaustion, resentment, or feelings of being taken for granted. When we give beyond our capacity, we deplete our energy and risk neglecting our own needs. Discernment allows us to establish clear boundaries, ensuring that our generosity remains sustainable and authentic. These boundaries not only protect our well-being, but also set an example for others, demonstrating that kindness and self-respect can coexist. By honoring our limits, we create a balance that allows us to give wholeheartedly without compromising our inner peace. Trusting our intuition helps us discern when and how to give, guiding us to act thoughtfully and in alignment with our values. By tuning into this inner wisdom, we can make decisions that align with our values and ensure that our generosity is intentional and purposeful. Intuition helps us navigate complex situations with clarity, enabling us to act thoughtfully rather than impulsively. This alignment with our inner voice fosters a sense of peace and confidence in our decisions, allowing us to give from a place of authenticity. Discernment in giving also includes the acknowledgement of our own resources and limitations. Whether we are offering time, energy, or material support, it is essential to consider what we can realistically give without overextending ourselves. Recognizing our limits is not a sign of weakness, but an act of self-care that ensures our generosity remains sustainable. By giving within our means, we protect our well-being and preserve our ability to continue supporting others in meaningful ways. This thoughtful approach not only benefits the recipient, but also reinforces our commitment to living authentically and with integrity. A key component of thoughtful giving is the intention behind the act. Giving should not be motivated by a desire for recognition or validation, but by a genuine commitment to serve and uplift others. When we give with a pure heart, our generosity resonates more deeply, creating connections that are rooted in trust and compassion. This mindful approach reminds us that the value of a gift lies not in its size or visibility, but in the love and care with which it is offered. True generosity seeks to build bridges and strengthen relationships, leaving a lasting impact on both the giver and the recipient. Discernment in giving is about creating a balance that honors both ourselves and others. It encourages us to give with intention, aligning our actions with our values and ensuring that our generosity serves a higher purpose. This thoughtful approach not only empowers those we support, but also enriches our own lives, fostering a sense of fulfillment and peace. By practicing discernment in giving, we cultivate a spirit of love and wisdom, enabling us to contribute to the world in ways that are both impactful and deeply rewarding. Managing emotional space is an essential practice in balancing compassion with self-care. It involves the delicate art of caring deeply for others while preserving our own emotional well-being. This balance allows us to support those in need effectively without succumbing to exhaustion or losing sight of our own needs. Compassion is a powerful force that connects us to others and fosters understanding. But when unchecked, it can also lead to emotional fatigue. By managing our emotional space, we create a sustainable way to care for others while maintaining the resilience and clarity necessary for a healthy and fulfilling life. A key part of managing emotional space is recognizing when and how to set boundaries that safeguard our emotional reserves and allow us to engage authentically. These boundaries are not about distancing ourselves from others, but about creating a safe space where we can engage authentically without feeling overwhelmed. They allow us to say no when necessary, to prioritize our own needs, and to approach relationships and responsibilities with a clear sense of purpose. Healthy boundaries empower us to give freely while preserving the energy needed for self-care. Managing emotional space also involves learning to let go of what we cannot control. Many of us carry the emotional weight of others' struggles, believing that it is our responsibility to fix their problems or alleviate their pain. While empathy and support are essential, it is important to recognize our limits and understand that some challenges must be faced by the individuals themselves. Letting go does not mean abandoning our compassion. Rather, it means trusting that others have the capacity to navigate their own journeys. This perspective allows us to remain supportive without being overwhelmed by the burdens of others. Managing emotional space requires us to be selective about the relationships and commitments we engage in. Not all relationships are equal, and some may drain our energy rather than uplift us. Surrounding ourselves with individuals who inspire and support us creates an environment where compassion can thrive. It is also important to recognize when a relationship or situation no longer serves our well-being and to have the courage to step away when necessary. By choosing connections that align with our values and foster mutual respect, we create a space where emotional balance is possible. Recognizing the importance of rest is another essential component of managing emotional space. Rest is not a sign of weakness, but a necessary part of maintaining resilience and clarity. When we take time to recharge, we renew our capacity to engage with the world from a place of strength and presence. Rest allows us to reflect, process our emotions, and regain the energy needed to face challenges with grace. By incorporating regular moments of rest into our lives, we create a foundation for emotional health that supports both ourselves and those we care for. Managing emotional space is about embracing a balanced approach to life that honors both our compassion and our need for self-care. It requires us to be intentional about how we invest our emotional energy, to set boundaries that protect our well-being, and to cultivate practices that nourish and sustain us. This balance allows us to support others effectively while remaining grounded and resilient. By managing our emotional space, we create the conditions for a life filled with meaningful connections, purposeful actions, and a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. The role of rest is often underestimated in a world that prizes productivity and constant activity. Yet rest is not a luxury. It is an essential foundation for maintaining clarity, balance, and emotional well-being. Prioritizing rest allows us to step away from the noise of daily life and reconnect with our inner selves, offering a space for solitude, reflection, and spiritual renewal. Rest rejuvenates our minds, restores our bodies, and provides the clarity needed to navigate life's complexities with grace and intentionality. Reflection is another vital aspect of rest, offering an opportunity to pause and evaluate our thoughts, actions, and experiences. In the rush of daily life, we often move from one task to the next without taking time to consider whether our actions align with our values and goals. Reflection allows us to step back, gain insight, and make intentional choices about how we spend our time and energy. It is a practice that fosters self-awareness and growth, helping us learn from our experiences and approach life with greater clarity and purpose. Through reflection, we become more attuned to what truly matters, enabling us to prioritize our efforts and focus on what brings us joy and fulfillment. Spiritual connection is a profound element of rest, offering a sense of grounding and renewal that transcends the physical and mental dimensions of our lives. Whether through prayer, meditation, or quiet moments of gratitude, spiritual practices provide a space to connect with something greater than ourselves. This connection nurtures our spirit, instilling a sense of peace and purpose that sustains us through life's challenges. By prioritizing spiritual rest, we reaffirm our values, draw strength from our faith, and find the inspiration needed to move forward with confidence and resilience. Rest also serves as a powerful antidote to the stress and demands of modern life. Chronic stress can take a significant toll on our physical and emotional health, leaving us feeling drained, irritable, and disconnected. Rest helps to counteract these effects by allowing our bodies and minds to recover and recharge. Sleep, in particular, is a critical component of rest, as it supports immune function, cognitive performance, and emotional regulation. Beyond sleep, rest encompasses any activity that brings us a sense of renewal, whether it is spending time in nature, engaging in a creative pursuit, or simply taking a few deep breaths. By embracing rest as a necessary part of our routine, we protect our well-being and build resilience against life's challenges. The practice of rest requires intention and discipline. In a society that often glorifies busyness, it can be tempting to prioritize productivity over rest, viewing it as something to be earned rather than an inherent need. However, rest is not a sign of laziness or weakness. It is an act of self-care and self-respect. Prioritizing rest means recognizing its value and making a conscious effort to incorporate it into our lives, even amidst a packed schedule. This may involve setting boundaries, such as turning off devices, saying no to unnecessary commitments, or carving out time for activities that bring us joy and relaxation. By protecting our time for rest, we honor our need for renewal and ensure that we can show up fully for the demands of life. The role of rest extends beyond the individual, influencing our relationships and communities. When we are well rested, we are more patient, compassionate, and present with others. Rest enhances our ability to listen, empathize, and connect, creating a ripple effect that strengthens our bonds and fosters a sense of harmony. Conversely, exhaustion can lead to irritability and disconnection, straining our relationships and diminishing our capacity to support those around us. By prioritizing rest, we not only care for ourselves, but also contribute to a more balanced and nurturing environment for everyone we encounter. Rest is a gift we give to ourselves, a sacred practice that honors our need for renewal and aligns us with the rhythm of life. It reminds us that we are not defined by how much we accomplish, but by how authentically we live. In prioritizing rest, we create a foundation of clarity, balance, and strength that supports every aspect of our lives. It is through rest that we find the energy to pursue our passions, the wisdom to navigate challenges, and the peace to embrace each moment with an open heart and mind. By embracing rest as an integral part of our journey, we cultivate a life of resilience, purpose, and fulfillment, grounded in the knowledge that renewal is not a luxury, but a necessity for living well. Intentional living is the practice of aligning one's life with deeply held values and purposes, allowing for a focused and meaningful existence. It is a deliberate choice to live with clarity, free from the distractions and negativity that can often cloud our judgment and pull us away from what truly matters. By defining our core values and staying committed to them, we create a life that reflects our authentic selves, filled with purpose and fulfillment. Intentional living is not about perfection or rigid adherence to a plan, but about cultivating mindfulness in every decision and ensuring our actions align with the principles we hold dear. Living intentionally means making choices that reflect our values and rejecting those that do not. This requires the courage to say no to distractions, negativity, and opportunities that may seem appealing, but ultimately do not serve our higher purpose. It also demands discipline and self-awareness, as we must continuously evaluate whether our actions align with our principles. Each decision, no matter how small, becomes an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to intentional living. Over time, this practice creates a life of coherence and authenticity, where our daily actions mirror the deeper truths of who we are. Intentional living also involves setting clear goals that align with our values and breaking them down into actionable steps. Goals provide direction, helping us focus our energy and resources on what truly matters. They transform abstract aspirations into tangible outcomes, giving us a sense of purpose and motivation. However, it is important to approach goals with flexibility, recognizing that life is unpredictable and circumstances may change. Intentional living encourages us to remain adaptable while staying true to our core values, allowing us to navigate challenges and seize opportunities without losing sight of our purpose. Mindfulness is a critical aspect of intentional living, as it helps us remain present and aware of how we spend our time, energy, and attention. In today's fast-paced world, it is easy to become overwhelmed by endless distractions, from social media to constant demands on our time. Mindfulness allows us to step back, evaluate our priorities, and make conscious choices about where to focus our attention. By being fully present in each moment, we enhance our ability to act intentionally and avoid being consumed by external pressures or negativity. Mindfulness fosters a sense of peace and clarity, enabling us to live with greater purpose and joy. Living intentionally is not just about individual growth. It is also about fostering meaningful relationships and contributing to the greater good. When we live with intention, we bring authenticity and integrity to our interactions with others, creating deeper connections and fostering trust. Intentional living inspires us to use our talents and resources to make a positive impact on the world, whether through acts of kindness, community involvement, or professional contributions. By aligning our actions with our values, we become a source of inspiration and support for those around us, helping to create a ripple effect of positivity and purpose. A key component of intentional living is the ability to let go of what no longer serves us. This may include old habits, relationships, or commitments that are misaligned with our values or drain our energy. Letting go is not an easy process, as it often involves confronting fear, guilt, or uncertainty. However, it is a necessary step in creating space for growth and renewal. By releasing what no longer fits within our intentional framework, we open ourselves to new opportunities and experiences that align more closely with our purpose. Intentional living is a journey of self-discovery and continual refinement. It is about embracing the idea that our lives are shaped by the choices we make and the values we uphold. While the path may not always be straightforward, each step brings us closer to a life of meaning and fulfillment. By defining our values, practicing mindfulness, and staying committed to our purpose, we create a life that is not only authentic, but also deeply rewarding. Intentional living empowers us to move through the world with confidence and clarity, knowing that we are living in alignment with our truest selves. It is through this alignment that we find peace, joy, and the courage to face whatever challenges life may bring. Guarding one's heart and setting boundaries are not merely actions, but lifelong commitments that demand patience, self-compassion, and continuous reflection. These practices enable us to protect our emotional and spiritual well-being while fostering meaningful connections with others. By learning to balance kindness with strength, we ensure that our compassion remains sustainable and authentic, empowering us to give freely without compromising our inner peace. This balance is not achieved overnight, but cultivated through intentional living and a steadfast adherence to our values. Living intentionally allows us to align our actions with our deepest beliefs, creating a life of authenticity and purpose. It is through this alignment that we discover resilience, a quality that helps us navigate life's inevitable challenges with grace and determination. Trusting in divine guidance further anchors us, reminding us that we are never alone in our journey. This faith provides the clarity and courage needed to face uncertainty while remaining grounded in love and hope. In embracing these principles, we lay the foundation for a fulfilling life rooted in peace and meaning. Each choice we make to guard our heart, set boundaries, and live intentionally brings us closer to the life we are called to lead, a life of joy, strength, and unwavering purpose. By embracing these principles, we illuminate the path to a life filled with peace, purpose, and unshakable joy, becoming living testaments to the profound strength that arises from authenticity and grace.